You're in a crowded room. Someone falls. They cry out, and you wait. You tell yourself someone else will help. You look around. Everyone else is looking around too. Nobody moves. But the real answer for why you freeze is far stranger than simple coldness. Your brain isn't broken in that moment. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do. Picture a woman named Kitty, walking home late at night in 1964. She was attacked outside her apartment building in New York City. Newspapers later claimed dozens of neighbors heard her screams and did nothing. The story shocked the country. How could so many people listen to someone dying and not lift a phone? That question became an obsession for two young psychologists. Their names were John Darley and Bib Latané. They didn't believe the neighbors were monsters. They suspected something else was happening. Something built into the wiring of every single person reading this right now. So they ran an experiment. They placed people alone in a room with an intercom, told them they were having a discussion with other participants in separate rooms. Then, through the speaker, one voice began to choke and gasp, calling for help. When a person believed they were the only one who could hear it, they acted fast. Almost every time, they rushed to help within a minute. But something changed when they believed other people could hear it too. The larger the group they thought was listening, the slower they moved. Some didn't move at all. Not because they didn't care, because their brain did a silent calculation none of them were aware of. That calculation has a name now: diffusion of responsibility. It means the weight of an emergency gets split between everyone present, like a bill at a restaurant. The more people at the table, the less each person feels they personally owe. 10 people watching a stranger struggle can each feel only 1/10 responsible. And 1/10 of responsibility often feels like none at all. But there's a second force working alongside it, and it's even sneakier. It's called social proof. Your ancestors survived by watching each other. If everyone around you started running, you ran too, no questions asked. There was rarely time to think for yourself when a predator was near. Copying the group kept you alive more often than deciding alone. So when something ambiguous happens today, your eyes don't go to the danger first. They go to the faces around you. Is anyone else worried? Is this actually an emergency, or am I overreacting? Your brain searches other people's expressions for the answer before it searches the situation itself. And if everyone else looks calm, or is also busy scanning faces, you read that stillness as safety, even when it isn't. This is why the presence of more people can make you less likely to get help, not more. A single witness feels the full, undiluted responsibility. A crowd feels a room full of hesitation, mirrored back at itself, growing quieter with every added person. Darley and Latané didn't stop at recreating the effect. They wanted to know if it could be shut down. They found something surprising. When one person in a group directly names the emergency out loud and points to a specific person, calling them by description, the freeze collapses almost instantly. You in the blue jacket, call an ambulance now. Suddenly there's no diffusion left. Responsibility snaps back onto one person, and one person almost always acts. Naming breaks the spell that numbers cast. Think about how many moments in your own life fit this pattern, and you never gave them a name. A phone left unattended on a train, someone slumped over at a bus stop, a child wandering alone in a store. You noticed. So did the people around you. And everyone kept walking, each one silently borrowing courage from the others in action. None of this makes you cruel. It makes you human. Running software built for tribes of maybe 30 to 50 people, not for cities of millions. For most of human history, you knew almost everyone within shouting distance. There was no anonymous crowd. If you didn't act, everyone would know it was you who didn't act. Shame and reputation policed behavior automatically. But modern life surrounds you with strangers who will never know your name, and never will see you again after this moment passes. Anonymity removes the ancient penalty for freezing. Researchers have found the effect softens under certain conditions. When bystanders know each other, the diffusion weakens. Friends act faster than strangers do, because the invisible bill can't be split among people who will actually talk about it later. Familiarity restores the old tribal math your brain was built for. Some psychologists, including later researchers building on Darley and Latané's original work, have also found that people trained to notice the bystander effect become far more likely to override it. Simply knowing the pattern exists seems to interrupt it. Awareness itself acts like a name, pointing a finger back at your own hesitation. So the next time you're in a crowd and something feels wrong, notice what your mind is doing. It's not measuring the danger. It's measuring the faces around you, searching for permission to feel alarmed. It's quietly dividing a responsibility that was never actually smaller just because more people showed up. You can interrupt it, point at one person, say their description out loud, give the moment a name, and watch how fast the crowd stops being a crowd and becomes a group of individuals again, each one suddenly holding the whole weight alone. You walked into this not knowing why you'd once frozen in a crowd while a stranger needed help. Now you know. It was never your character failing. It was your ancestors' survival code running in a world it was never built for, waiting only for someone, maybe you, to say the one thing that breaks it. Look, right there. You help.